I'm Eric Linask here at the Cloud Expo at the Javits Center here in New York, New York. Talking now with John Sudman from Wet Machine. John, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Most of the folks that I've talked to here today are either vendors or service providers or software developers of some sort. You're a little bit different from those folks.
Yes,
You're a writer.
I am indeed.
What do you write?
I write geeky fiction. I write literary fiction that has a high-tech content that is aimed for an audience of people who are comfortable with hardware and software concepts.
So that's what brings you to shows such as the Cloud Expo.
Exactly. The people who read my books tend to be software people or scientists. So I write fiction, I write novels. They are. But I do appeal to a kind of more scientifically inclined and technologically secure readership.
Where do you come up with the technological ideas that go into your books?
Well, I was in the high-tech world for about 25 years. I was at Sun Microsystems for 9 years. I've been at, I think, 5 software startups where I was manager of publications. So I've lost count of how many software and hardware manuals I've written or supervised, and I've written books on software process management. I was in charge of the software development architecture team at Sun Microsystems. So I've got a geek background, and also my wife is a molecular biologist.
Smart family.
Yeah.
You've got 3 books with you here. Tell me about those.
Indeed. This book, my most recent book, is called The Pains. It's kind of an illustrated dystopian phantasmagoria. It kind of reimagines the story of Job in a world that's part Orwell's 1984 and part Ronald Reagan's 1984. If you look at the illustrations and read the book and don't get nightmares, I'll refund your money. And this is Cheap Complex Devices, which purports to be the story of a storytelling contest between 2 artificial intelligence constructs. But it's what we call a postmodern metafiction-y thing. It's got an unreliable narrator, and everything in it is kind of false. And this is a straight-ahead Acts of the Apostles. My first book is a straight-ahead thriller about nanomachines and an evil genius trying to take over the world by rearranging the DNA that controls our minds.
What's the hardest part about writing technology-based novels?
I think the hardest part of writing any novel is trying to make a compelling story about characters that are real. I'm trying to create literature. I'm not just trying to write a book. So I'm trying to write stories that address real, deep human concerns. So I think I've got big ambitions, in other words. So how do you create characters that are real in situations that are interesting enough that people will want to read about them?
How much do you have to stay on top of technology evolution today in order to succeed at what you do?
Oh, that's a hard one. I think it's impossible to keep up. So I just try to keep generally current, but I could drive myself nuts trying to follow all the developments. And I'm writing a new novel now about, it's called Creation Science, and it's about engineered life, building up life from DNA that's engineered molecule by molecule. That is being done right now, and there is a whole field of synthetic biology. I don't try to understand all of it. I just understand the basic concepts of it, and then I come up with what could possibly go wrong with people engineering novel life forms from scratch. Well, lots could go wrong, obviously.
How much do you leverage the interactions that you have here at shows like this in your novels?
Well, I try to get into the head of the people who are Cloud World or Cloud Expo type people. I don't know how much I use shows like this to inform my novels, but I do use shows like this to reach out to new readers, and actually a lot of established readers. There's been several people who have come up and said, "Oh, I read your book when I read about it here and there," and I've already read your first 2. I'd like to get the 3rd one now. So it's good to be able to have human contact with people who are your actual readers and who give you actual money to buy your books.
Excellent.
Yeah.
In your mind, what's the most exciting development that we've seen in technology recently?
Well, I guess the most exciting and the most scary is the convergence of biological technology and digital technology. So the engineering of DNA it promises all kinds of exponential increases in improvements of medicine and the time for delivery of new medicines for obscure diseases is theoretically it could shorten from decades to weeks. So that's very exciting. But the potential for all kinds of other bad stuff that's how I make my living, thinking about all the bad stuff that could happen.
Absolutely.
And the doors are opening wide for all kinds of bad stuff, bioterrorism being the most obvious.
Where can people go to find out more or to get copies of your books?
They can go to wetmachine.com. My books are available on Amazon and other sites like that. But you'll be happier if you buy directly from wetmachine.com. I'll make more money and you'll get a better deal.
Excellent. We're talking here at the Cloud Expo in New York with John Sudman. John, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.